Hello guys, how are we all doing? Welcome back to another video. Now today is a big one. We're going to be predicting all of the final championship games and we're going to see what the table looks like after it. So then, what I'm using to work this out is something called Championship Table Calculator. So I'm going to put all the results in and it'll manually work them out on the table. First thing to point out is I'm a Coventry fan, but no, I won't be biased. In fact, I probably might be the other way because I'm so negative about Coventry sometimes. I might not give us any wins. And the second thing is, Sheffield Wednesday's 6-point deduction hasn't been factored in on this table. So, as you can see on the table, they have 38 points, but in reality, they actually have 32. Now that's clear, let's get into it. So then, there you go, I've predicted game week 39. As you can see, some interesting scores to go over. Bournemouth drawing with Middlesbrough, that's what I've gone for in that one. Cardiff and Forest playing out a draw, I can see that happening. Derby losing at home to Luton, I'm not convinced by Derby at the moment. Millwall and Rotherham playing out a draw, tricky game that one, I'm not sure which way to go. Norwich winning at Preston. I've gone for QPR to beat Coventry 1-0, I just don't fancy Coventry on the road. Barnsley to beat Reading, that was the big one. They beat them 2-1 in my eyes. Blackburn to beat Wycombe Wanderers 2-0. Birmingham and Swansea playing out a 1-1 draw. And Brentford winning 1-0 at Huddersfield. So as you can see, a bit of movement in the table there. Pretty interesting. Let's go on to the next week. So then, as you can see, the table's slightly changed again. For Middlesbrough-Watford, I've gone for a goalless draw. I think Middlesbrough might be able to frustrate Watford there. I've gone for Bournemouth to win at Blackburn. I've actually backed Coventry to beat Bristol City. I just think at home, that's where we might stay up. I think the home games is where we might pick up the most of our points. I've gone for us to win that 1-0. Reading to beat Derby. Luton and Barnsley playing out a goalless draw. I back Rotherham to beat Wycombe 2-0. As you can see, Swansea to beat Preston 2-0. Cardiff winning away at Sheffield Wednesday. Brentford to beat Birmingham 3-0. And I've also gone for Norwich to beat Huddersfield 2-0. And as you can see on the table, Rotherham United climbing out of that bottom three. Sheffield Wednesday now 7 points from safety. Reading hanging on to 6th by the skin of their teeth. It's going to be a battle between them and Bournemouth. So then, moving on to match week 41, I've backed Watford to beat Reading 2-0. I think that could be a tight game. It could go either way, but I'm backing Watford there. Swansea to lose at Millwall. That could happen. I feel like I don't back Millwall very often, so I'm going for that one there. Swansea, a little bit inconsistent at the moment. Coventry to lose 2-0 at Bournemouth. I just fancy Bournemouth, especially at their place, 2-0. Birmingham to beat Stoke. I think with Lee Bowyer, they're going to have a battling nature. I think they will pick up a few wins between now and the end of the season. Bristol and Forest playing out a draw. Cardiff to beat Blackburn. Norwich winning away at Derby. So Derby really slumping down, but they have got a tough run of fixtures. I think it does get easier soon, so they might start winning some games soon. Barnsley and Middlesbrough playing out a draw. Rotherham Huddersfield, that's a big game. Well, it's actually Huddersfield Rotherham, but I've gone for a 1-1 draw. I'm sitting on the fence for that one. Brentford to draw 2-2 at Preston, who have obviously got rid of Alex Neil. I don't know what's going on at Preston. I still think they should be safe. Sheffield Wednesday, I've actually backed them to pick up a win at QPR. QPR might start picking up some funny results. They might win games you don't expect them to and lose games you might not expect them to. So I've gone for that. And I've also backed Luton to win away at Wycombe. So Wycombe really cut adrift and very, very close to relegation now. So then next up, there were some games in hand to fill in. I've actually backed Swansea to win at Sheffield Wednesday. I've gone for 2-1. I think that could be a really tight game. And I've backed QPR to win at Rotherham. Like I say, QPR might give them some wins here and some defeats there, but I'm backing them to win at the New York Stadium. I think with Rotherham United, they've got lots of games. I think they will win a few, they will lose a few because they're going to be very fatigued and a lot of injuries will set in. Let's move on to the next one. As you can see, we also have Huddersfield versus Bournemouth. That's a big game for both teams. Both teams need to just get over the line for what they want to do this season. I've gone for a 1-1 draw, both of them picking up a point. And I've also gone for Coventry to lose at Rotherham 1-0. Now this one is a massive game, by the way. I didn't feel comfortable backing Rotherham to win this as a Coventry fan, but I just fancy Rotherham at their place. It could be 2-1 Rotherham, but I've gone for 1-0 Rotherham. Obviously Coventry could get something, but I'm just leaning towards Rotherham as the home team. Coventry not great on the road. Next up then, match week 42. I've gone for Derby to win 1-0 at Blackburn. Derby with a few tricky games, but they should be able to pick up 1 or 2 wins in there. I'm backing them here against Blackburn, who haven't really got too much to play for. Next up, Coventry versus Barnsley. I've gone for a 0-0 draw. I do think Coventry should be able to pick up points at home, but against Barnsley, I don't think we'll win. I'm going to go for 0-0 in that one. Brentford to beat Millwall. Middlesbrough to beat QPR. A few draws in there. Reading Cardiff, that's a big game. I've gone for a 1-1 draw. Watford to win away at Luton 1-0 in a derby game. Just fancy Watford. Luton though, could give them a good game. Norwich 2, Bournemouth 1. I've backed Forest to beat Huddersfield 1-0. Rotherham and Birmingham, that's the big game. I've gone for a 1-1 draw. Like I say, I've backed them both to pick up a few wins here and there, but I'm going for a draw in that one. Bristol to win away at Sheffield Wednesday, Stoke to beat Preston, and Swansea with a 3-0 win over Wycombe. And as you can see, if you look at the table, that result will relegate Wycombe Wanderers. Sheffield Wednesday still hanging in there. You've got to take that 6 points off them. They'll be on 35, so they're just hanging in there. And you've also got teams at the top, Watford with a 6-point gap over Swansea, a 7-point gap over Brentford, and the playoff chase, very interesting. Bournemouth just in 6th at the moment. Next up then, match week 43, I've gone for Birmingham Forest to be a 1-1 draw. Very tight game, could go either way, but I just think with Chris Hughton, Forest have looked fairly solid. 1-1 draw there. Cardiff to win away at Brentford. To be honest, I can see Brentford flopping a little bit. They seem to just sometimes fall out of the automatic race. I think they'll settle for the playoffs in the end. And who knows, they could be the favourites for the playoffs. Norwich, Watford have gone for a 1-1 draw. Watford need the points more than Norwich, but Norwich is still a decent team. Preston to beat Derby, that will surely push them out of the relegation battle. Blackburn to beat Sheffield Wednesday to nearly relegate them. Swansea to beat QPR, Bournemouth to beat Millwall, Barnsley to beat Huddersfield. A few draws in there, Reading picking up a draw. Rotherham to lose at home to Middlesbrough, who are obviously a decent team. Wycombe to pick up a win, even though they're relegated. I thought I'd give them some points. They're going to beat Bristol City, in my opinion. Sorry, Bristol fans. And Stoke 2, Coventry 0. Like I say, Coventry just not convinced on the road. And that would actually put my team, Coventry City, in the relegation zone on goal difference. It's very tight now. As you can see, Rotherham and Birmingham have just pulled ahead of us. But there's some games to go, and I can see Coventry and Derby still climbing out of it. They've slumped in there. Sheffield Wednesday very close to being relegated now. And the playoff chase, pretty interesting. Reading and Cardiff still have a chance of catching Bournemouth. So then, match week 44, I am backing Bournemouth to beat Brentford 1-0. Bournemouth playing for more. I can't see Brentford catching second place Watford. So Bournemouth are going to win. And it looks like they might be joining Brentford in the playoffs at this rate. Blackburn Huddersfield have gone for a draw. Cardiff to beat Wycombe, as you'd expect they would. Coventry to beat Preston. Like I say, at home, Coventry should just be able to pick up a few wins. And I think Preston at home, it's a winnable game. As you can see, Derby to beat Birmingham 2-0. That's a massive game. I mean, if Birmingham win that, then that puts Derby really in the thick of it. Barnsley to beat Rotherham. I've gone for 3-2. I thought I'd put some goals in there. An exciting Yorkshire derby. Why not? We've also got Middlesbrough to beat Sheffield Wednesday, which would unfortunately relegate Sheffield Wednesday. I've given them a few results, but I just can't see them winning away at the Riverside, to be honest. Reading to beat Swansea 1-0. That would keep Reading's chances of the top 6 still alive. Watford, Millwall have gone for a draw. Stoke, Forest gone for a draw. QPR, Norwich gone for a draw. I think Norwich will drop a couple of points here and there. They'll still win the title. And Bristol City 0, Luton 0. We also have a game in hand coming up then when Brentford play Rotherham. I'm just backing Brentford to win 2-0. I think Rotherham, like I say, the fatigue, the injuries will be setting in, so I'm just going to back Brentford, especially on their own turf. That would just keep Brentford's top 2 hopes alive, and it'd leave Rotherham dangling above the relegation zone. As you can see, that table looking very, very interesting at this point. So then, the penultimate week, Birmingham versus Cardiff have gone for a draw. Both teams will be chasing the win. I mean, it could go either way, but I'm going for a goalless draw. Who knows if that's enough for either team. I think they both need to win, to be honest. Brentford to beat Watford 1-0 to keep that top 2 race just alive by a thread. Bristol City winning away at Millwall. Coventry have gone for us to lose at Huddersfield. We're going to get a goal on the road, but once again, I just don't have much faith in us on the road. I think at home we can pick up decent points, but on the road, I'm just not too confident with Coventry. I'm back in Huddersfield there. Luton and Middlesbrough have gone for a draw. Norwich to beat Reading 3-2, which I think would just knock Reading out of the top 6 race, which would be very disappointing. Who knows? Reading could still make it. I don't know. Preston Barnsley 0-0. Rotherham Blackburn 1-1. Wednesday, who are relegated, to draw 1-1 with Forest. A couple of more draws in there. Swansea to beat Derby. That's a big, big result. And Wycombe and Bournemouth playing out a draw, which should still be enough to see Bournemouth have it in their hands going into the final week. And then one more game to catch up on for Rotherham United away at Luton Town. This time I'm going to give them a draw, but I just can't see them winning it. I think Luton Town will have very little to play for, but they've still been very solid, even though they've had a very mid-table kind of season. They're very, very solid. I know Coventry didn't get any points at Luton, so I'm going for a 1-1 draw there. And as you can see, going into the final week of the Championship, Coventry hanging just above their landlords, Birmingham, who are in the bottom three. Derby and Rotherham still not safe just yet. Bournemouth with the top six in their own hands as Cardiff are trying to catch them. And as you can see, Watford and Swansea within 2 points of each other, and they play each other on the final day. So let's do this. So then, that is it. Let's go through the results very quickly. Bournemouth 2, Stoke 1, Birmingham to lose on the final day to Blackburn, Bristol 0, Brentford 0, Cardiff to beat Rotherham 2-1, could be a close game, Coventry 0, Millwall 0, just getting a 0-0, should get Coventry over the line, Derby to beat Sheffield Wednesday 2-0 at home, Norwich winning away at Barnsley 3-1, Middlesbrough 2, Wycombe 0, Reading 4, Huddersfield 2. Why not? It's the final day. Maybe loads of goals. Watford just going to beat Swansea 1-0. I think that's going to be a very, very interesting game. Just fancy Watford because going into it, Watford know even a draw should be enough, so Swansea will have to come out chasing in that game. And as you can see, Forest Preston finishing as a draw, and the same with QPR Luton. All those teams safe and not going up. But as you can see, that is the Championship table. Norwich are going to win the league with 103 points. Watford coming second, automatically promoted with 90 points. I did say in a video, I think 90 points does get you automatics. Brentford and Swansea just falling short. They are joined by Bournemouth and Barnsley. So Bournemouth did overtake Barnsley on the final day, but they both made the playoffs, so it doesn't matter. Cardiff agonisingly missing out by 1 point. Reading falling short by a couple of points. And as you move down the table, wow, Wycombe relegated, Sheffield Wednesday relegated, and Birmingham City relegated. Even now I've done this, I'm still not too sure. I feel like I could have changed my mind a few times. Rotherham just surviving, Coventry just surviving, Huddersfield and Derby just a little bit above that. But in the end, what a final day that was. If that's what happens on the final day, then anything is up for grabs. But there you go, guys. Like I say, that could all not happen. Maybe none of those results come in, but it was worth a go. It's good fun, isn't it? And we're going to see. I'm just excited for the Championship to restart. So cheers, guys. Thanks for watching. Please do leave a like. Let me know your thoughts down below. Have a go as well. Go on the Championship table calculator, put your results in and see what comes up. And we'll see you in the next video. Peace out.